Hey, how you guys doing today? Today we're gonna teach Andrew here how to play some blackjack. He came to me recently and said he wants to make a little cash on the side, so I told him I got just the game for him.
I want to gamble.
All right, so blackjack was invented in, we think, around the 1700s in the French casinos due to reference in the book Don Quixote. I'm telling you that I like to give my students a little bit of background before we jump into the deep end. Little floaties for you. All right, now Andrew, we have to set a base. So we have to figure out what he knows and what he doesn't know. Gerg, Andrew, have you ever played cards before?
No.
Never played cards. All right, so we'll tell them the basics of cards. Now, Gerg, Andrew, we have 52 cards here, okay? 52. There are gonna be 4 different suits, and the suits are diamonds, spades, clubs, and hearts. Now, each of those suits will have the numbers 1 through 10, and then they will have a king, a queen, a jack, and an ace. Now, the ace is gonna be very important, but we'll get to that later. Now, the goal of blackjack is to score 21, Gerg, and it's a game of dealer versus player. Now, for this example, I'll be the dealer, and you'll be the player. And we'll just do a dry run and see how you figure it out. How good are you at math, Andrew?
Subpar.
Subpar? Well, perfect game for you, it's all addition. All right, now we're gonna dive right in. Andrew, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, that's great to hear. So Andrew, for this example, I'll be the dealer and you'll be the player. Now, the player's gonna get dealt first. He gets a 9.
Pretty big card.
That's a big card, almost to 21. Now, I deal myself.
Why are you face down?
And I'll tell you why I'm face down, Mr. Andrew. I'm face down because you're only gonna get to know one of my cards. You have to read me, you have to figure it out, and we're gonna play the book. But we'll talk about that later after this dry run. Now, Andrew's second card. It's a king. Now, what number could that be? You see, Andrew, that's a 10.
What?
Yeah, so each suit actually has 4 10s. So you have pretty good odds when you have a 9 laying down. But we'll talk about that a little bit later when we get to the book. Now, for my second card. A 5. A low card, not too great. Now, I'll ask you, Andrew, what do you want to do here? You have a couple options, and I'll tell you them. You can either hit, which means receive another card, or you can stay, which means it's now my turn. Now, Andrew, let me remind you, you're trying to get 21 or be the closest to 21, but you can't go over.
This is a tough decision, Joe.
Right.
I think I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay.
He's gonna stay. And it's a very wise choice. Beginner's luck? We'll see. All right, and I go to flip. Ooh, and I have a 15. Now at 15, I have to hit. I have to try to get 21. Come on, let's hope I bust. Yes! I busted! So now Andrew wins, and he gets paid out.
Money.
Money. But he didn't bet, but we'll get to that in the next round. Now, after that dry run and Andrew kind of understands the flow of the game, we're going to dive a little more into what's going on, okay? So I'm going to deal you again. Bang, 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 bang. Now, I have a 9. Andrew has an 8. Let's talk a little about the book. Now, Gerg, Andrew, this is not an actual book you read. It's more of a hypothetical book that tells you when you should hit or stay, double or split. We'll get into that a little bit later though. Now, Andrew, if you look at the table, you see a 9, which means you assume I have a 10, which means you assume I have a 19, okay? You have 18. With that information, what do you think you should do?
I'm gonna hit.
The correct choice, a fast learner. Ooh, now he has 18. Now, he must decide, does he continue to assume I have 19? Now remember, Gerg, Andrew, I have 4 chances in each suit to have a 10, which means I have 16 cards in the deck that could give me 19, but you have 18. Do you trust that I have 19, or do you think that I will bust, or have less than you?
This is a scary situation.
Scary situation.
I'm not feeling very courageous today. I'm gonna stay.
It's gonna stay, and that's what the book would tell you to do. I'm gonna flip. Let's see what I have.
No!
Now I take all of Andrew's money. And now, Andrew, time for the greatest lesson we're going to learn today. Gambling, the house always wins. All right, Andrew, so now we've done our dry run, and we've done a run where I explained the book a little bit and didn't have a great outcome for you. Now we're going to switch things up a little bit. We're going to start to dive in to some other options other than just hit and stay. This game has a lot of variety, and that's why it's a lot of fun for a lot of people around the whole globe. Here's your first card, Andrew.
A jack.
A jack. Of all trades, we'll see. Another jack! And what do? We'll talk about that in a second. I have a 9. Now, Andrew, you have 20. You have to assume I have 19. Now, the book would probably tell you just to stay. However, we're going to introduce a third option, and this is when it becomes a gambler's paradise. Now, Andrew, since you have 2 of the identical card, you can split. What does that mean? Well, say you bet $25 on your hand. You can now bet another 25 on this hand, and they become 2 separate hands. Andrew, you're split now. I'm going to hit you, because I kind of have to. And now you have 20. Looking very good. Do you want to hit or stay on that hand?
I think I'm going to stay.
That is a very wise decision. A fast learner indeed. Andrew, jack. You gotta hit pretty much.
Gotta hit.
Don't have an option.
Oh my.
16. Now, I have maybe a 19. But maybe I don't. What does the book say, Andrew? What do you think?
To hit.
And he thinks the book says to hit. Let's see if it pays off. Oh! We get to talk about aces. Now, Andrew, that's an ace. That can either be a 1 or an 11. It's the most coveted card in the game because of how dynamic it is. Now, in this situation, I think that's a 1 for you, because if not, you busted. So, you have 17, Andrew. I have 19.
I think I'm going to stay this time.
And he's wise. He's wise to do so. Let's see what I have, and I'm going to flip.
Oh.
I have 14. Will I hit? I will. I busted! So Andrew wins, and he gets paid out for both hands. I'm probably going to get fired by this casino. Andrew's taking from me all I got. Now, Andrew, for our last lesson, we're going to get very advanced here, and even I'm still trying to figure it out as a coach. I don't have a full grasp, but I'm going to show you the knowledge that I learned, and hopefully we can work on this together as coach and coachee. Now, this is called counting cards, and you got to keep it quiet because it's kind of illegal at casinos.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Who is this guy?
Contrary to popular belief, counting cards is not illegal. It's simply frowned upon in casinos. They are on private property, so they have the right to kick anyone out that they please. So if you are an advantaged player using card counting techniques, they will ask you to leave. But it's not illegal.
Well, thank you,
Remember
mysterious
that.
man. See, Andrew, as a coach, even I can be wrong. Now, Andrew, the general idea with counting cards is that if it's between 1 and 6, that's +1. And you keep a tally in your head. Now, anything between 7 and 9 is neutral. No addition or subtraction from the tally. And if it's 10 to ace, that's -1. Now, with minus, it means a low card is coming. And use that to your favor. And if it's plus, it means a high card is coming. Use that to your favor. Now, it only really works if you get a lot of reps in, but we're going to do a quick run through. That's a jack. That's -1. That's a king. That's -1. Down, flip, ace, you're at -3 now. And you already got 20, so you wouldn't hit. But with -3, you can expect the next card to be a low card, 5 +1. And that's what counting cards teaches you. So, Andrew, what have we learned here today?
That counting cards is in fact legal under certain circumstances.
Yes.
How to play by the book,
Right.
when to hit,
Yeah.
how to split, how to make some money.
How to make some money and how to play blackjack, a fun game. Please gamble responsibly. This is not an endorsement by gambling by any means. This is just a class project. Thank you so much for your time.